What I'd like to discuss today is economic freedom, the concept of economic freedom, especially as related to the challenges that confront us in this country, the high unemployment levels in this country, the fact that we are not attracting enough foreign direct investment in order for there to be economic expansion and for the business sector to start employing more people. However, let me just mention the fact that one of the things that frustrates most South Africans is the fact that the political miracle has not translated into an economic miracle. The answer lies in understanding what is needed for the economy to take off and therefore for people to be employed and more wealth to be created. Right, so that we become an another economic miracle as with other countries. Now, if you look at who is talking about economic freedom, it's various organizations that don't have a real understanding as to what constitutes or defines economic freedom. Economic freedom simply means personal choice. It means the protection of private property. It means freedom of exchange, voluntary exchange, so to speak. These are the basic pillars of economic freedom. And what this all means in terms of government policy, it means that government policy has to accept this definition as a point of departure in terms of the policies that it enacts, or otherwise is going to embark on the wrong path, as currently is the situation where the government is very dirigist and intervenes in the private sector. And so, for example, the government should look at how economic freedom should be enhanced so that this all becomes conducive to the proliferation of companies, so it's easier for companies to come into business, to get off the ground. The cost of doing business is lowered, and there's greater competition amongst producers, amongst various companies. They compete on the basis of the services and goods that they provide, and they compete on the basis of hiring the best people for the various jobs categories that they have. But the important thing for us to bear in mind is that we really need to understand what true economic freedom means. Economic freedom means basically is defined in terms of personal choice, it's defined in terms of voluntary exchange, it's defined in terms of the protection of private property. And the thing is, you know, if you can ask anybody in terms of these basic principles as to whether they can relate to them, you will find that people can relate to these basic principles. You'll find that people feel that everyone should have a right and exercise the right of personal choice in terms of deciding what choices they should make in life, be it in the context of economic transactions that they enter into, because they know best as to what their best needs are and their priorities are. And also, if you ask people whether it is important that private property, their properties, be protected, everyone will say so. They can relate to that. It makes sense. There's nothing ideological about it. And if you ask people that if there should be voluntary exchange in terms of what they have being exchanged for what they want, you'll find that everyone can relate to that. So if one is talking about economic freedom, which means free markets, that is not ideological at all. It is just simply a state of affairs which is spontaneous, which is natural, that people can relate to and understand. And so the government should respect that as a point of departure in terms of the policies that it embarks upon. So one of the things that I would advocate in terms of dealing with the problems being faced in this country is that the government should look at existing policies with the view to expunging all those policies that are in conflict with economic freedom. That would be a good start. If we do not do that, then we're not going to get anywhere. Remember, we have an unemployment crisis here. It's a cataclysm, not only just a crisis. Over 36% of the people being unemployed. That's very serious. And so the government should make a concerted effort to ensure that the economic freedoms of everybody should be respected, or otherwise we're not going to get anywhere at all.